page 10, in the claims analysis, each of the following items must be verified and reviewed in processing each claim for payment. If at any point a discrepancy or challenge is encountered, the file should be referred to the manager or supervisor for review. It will be necessary to thoroughly investigate and document any inconsistencies before payment will be approved.
So I'm clear, I guess, is it the company's policy that any claim made within the 2-year period is a contestable claim?
Yes, it is.
And so you're always going to investigate it as a contestable claim?
I couldn't answer that.
Who could answer that?
I'm not sure.
Could you hand that to me, please?
Sure.
It says on here, this is page 8 of exhibit number 3, death claim procedures. The third paragraph says, pin the claims by suspending the contract for a death claim if appropriate. What does that mean?
I'm assuming that you just pinned it instead of either pay or deny.
Okay. Do you keep the original application?
I don't have the original application. I don't know if the original application is kept or not.
Who would know the answer to that?
I could find out from our home office.
And kind of like my question before, if you were going to call someone and ask them,
That's right.
Where's the original application at, who would you call?
It would probably be someone in our fulfillment office.
Okay. And I guess is fulfillment, is that like?
Record keepers.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is it your understanding that all the premiums were paid for this policy?
Yes, it is.
And that the policy was in full force and effect when the claim was made?
Yes, it was.
You did receive notice of the loss?
We received a telephone call initially notifying us of his death. Yes, sir.
Okay. And what I'm getting at is you require notice under the contract for claims. And I'm asking you, are you contesting whether or not you received notice?
And that was not not an item that was contested. No, sir.
Okay. And you sent a statement to the beneficiary to fill out?
Yes, we did.
And they filled that out and gave you all the information that you requested?
It was eventually completed and returned to us, yes.
Okay. And you say that eventually, Do you think they dragged their feet, or that they were less than forthcoming with you?
No. From what I remember reviewing the file, I believe it was initially requested sometime in March, and we didn't receive it until June.
Okay. Part of y'all's investigation was you sent a private investigator to go interview the family.
That is part of the process, yes, sir.
And by the process, so every death claim that you have on a life insurance contract, you always send a private investigator out to go interview the family?
More than likely, it's probably determined on the circumstances of the death.
Okay. And what were the circumstances of this death that merited a private investigator to be sent to the family?
I believe the gunshot wound.
Okay. And how soon after the notice of the claim did you send this individual out?
Gosh, I believe it was within just days after receiving notice.
Okay. And what's I guess the marching orders for your private investigator when you send them out? What are they supposed to do?
There's items that are listed that the company had wanted. They wanted an interview with the mother, and they also had wanted them to request medical records from the, any facilities that where Mr. Nichols had been treated, and I think the application indicated one facility, and then I believe the mother had indicated another facility where he had been treated. Let me see. I believe she also disclosed some information that was not on the application during the interview as well. But they do obtain the medical records, and then they talk to the officers that were present at the time or did the investigation for the gunshot wound to
Okay.
Mr. Nichols.
And I guess what were some of the questions that were disclosed that were not on the original application?
The mother, in fact, had mentioned to the investigator that her son had been shot a few years earlier, and I don't know if she knew where he was treated. I can't remember the details now, but that was something that she had disclosed to the investigator. That was not on the application.
Okay. Do you know where he was shot?
If I remember reading the records, I believe it was the arm and the chest. I really can't remember if that's right or not.
You don't know if it was in his leg or not?
I don't believe it was. I know that he had broken his leg.
How do you know that he had broken his leg?
Well, the application indicated that he had broken his leg.
Well, the whole point of this whole exercise, though, y'all are saying that the application was incorrect, right?
Well, it included information that was, the application did not include some information that we found out in his medical records.
What I'm getting at, though, is are you relying on the application to answer that question, or would you rather look at the medical records?
Can you repeat your question? I'm not really sure.
Do you know whether or not he was shot in the leg or not?
I don't believe he was shot in the leg, but I would like to look at the medical records if I need to verify that.
Okay. If you would, have you got a copy of the application?
I don't know if it's in here. Do you have a bate stamp? that-
Well, no, I'll tell you, I do have a bait stamp. I'm gonna change, I'll switch gears on you.
Okay.
There's I'm looking at a claimant statement. It's bait stamp number 35.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, tell me what that document is.
This is the death claim form.
Okay, and so it's got on there, it's got I guess, the decedent, the date of their death, where they died, their social security number, the cause of death, the name of the beneficiary. Is that right?
Let me see. The section B is regarding the beneficiary and the name and the residence of the beneficiary, yes.
Okay, and so that's just a general, that's a claim form.
Yes.
Okay, that's number 35. Now, page 36.
Okay.
Okay, what is that? It says Part D.
Claimant statement of additional facts, and to be completed by next of kin if accidental death was involved, or the policy had been enforced for 2 years, or the policy was reinstated within the past year.
Okay, and I guess which one of these does that apply to? I guess both A and B?
Yes.
Okay. And why is it that you want to know the answers to these questions?
Just to complete the claim document, to verify, let's see, just to get any other past medical history, so.
Don't you already have their past medical history on the application?
A lot of times when people complete a claim form, they provide information. Sometimes it matches their application, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. And why is that important for y'all?
Because they may provide some information that we didn't have before.
Okay. And that's important if you want to deny the claim, right?
That's important if we want to do some additional investigation.
Okay. Why would you want to do additional investigation?
Depends on the information that's provided to us.
But I guess the goal would be to either admit or deny the claim.
As part of the investigation, yes, sir.
Okay. And you could always admit the claim at any time regardless of the investigation that you do, is that right?
That is correct.
Okay, so the purpose of you sending out PIs and sending out these claim forms and everything, the purpose is to find a way to deny the claim?
No, sir, it's not.
Okay, then what's the purpose then?
It's part of a routine investigation.
Okay. Now, in this, I guess this, on page 36, it's Part D, question 6. During the past 3 years, did the deceased, and so that's a very specific question regarding the decedent. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
Okay. And it's pretty straightforward. There's no way you could get that question confused, right?
Object to the form.
And what I'm getting at is as to who we're talking about.
That's right.
Okay.
Mhm.
This claim wasn't denied because of whether or not Mr. Nichols was a smoker or not. Is that correct?
That's my understanding, that's right.
And would y'all deny a claim like that? Let's say that none of these other issues came up, but it was just the smoking issue. Would that be a reason for y'all to rescind the policy?
Not in my opinion, no, sir.
So y'all would just go ahead and pay the claim?
If there were no other circumstances involved, I would see no reason why you wouldn't, unless it involved a death claim with cancer possibly. I don't know. I couldn't tell you yes or no.
But you agree with me, I mean, the fact whether or not Mr. Nichols smoked or not had nothing to do with a person coming up and robbing him and shooting him in the head?
No, sir.
Okay. And I guess going along that same line of thinking, What did Mr. Nichols having a reckless driving charge have to do with him being shot outside his home?
Object to the form.
In relation to whether or not you would have written this policy, or the fact that you denied the claim?
Object to the form.
The claim was denied because of medical history that was not disclosed on his application.
Okay, now, medical history or driving history?
Well, the driving history, yes. The application was not answered truthfully. The questions on the application were not answered truthfully.
Okay, and it's the application, it's that Part A and I think also Part B, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. There's not any other, is there any other part of the application that you take issue with that should have been completed differently?
I believe that there was a question concerning past treatment. Let me see. There was... Do you have the Bates stamp for the application?
It's in Exhibit 2.
Okay.
Oh, 050.
Excuse me?
0050, it's the Bates stamp application.
Okay. Let's see. It was, question 10. Let me see. Let me see, I believe it was question number 3. Oh, yeah. Any other medical and surgical hospitalizations, treatments, or operations in the last 5 years? It was answered yes, and they did provide the information about the broken leg, but not about the gunshot wound. I'm sorry.
Okay. Going back to the claim form. I see where it looks like there were 2 claim forms on this. Do you remember seeing that?
I do.
Okay, and tell me, why were there 2 claim forms?
I believe one was submitted by the funeral home.
Okay. And it was it not, it was filled out by someone else?
It appears to be. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, in fact, one of them, it says that he was in landscaping, it's his occupation. The other one says that he was a dock worker.
That's right.
Okay. Does that make a difference for a life insurance company?
We would like the claimant's